Welcome to the Art of Being Unstoppable podcast, the podcast where we go beyond the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Be part of down-to-earth, no BS conversation where we explore hot topics of love and money, relationships and business, beauty, and who we get to be with all the shit in between. With our insights and your actions, we'll be unstoppable together. Welcome, everyone. I am Tina Bringley, and I'm an authentic leadership coach. I am passionate about business development and personal development. And I believe that business strategy is only part of the puzzle. The other part is knowing yourself. Awareness is key and action is the lock. Put them together and results are inevitable, not just in business, but in life, in relationships. So let's go.
Hello, friends. My name is Vicki McDougall-Butt. I am a confident, inspiring, dedicated, badass woman. That's who I get to be in the world. I have been a stylist with well over 35 years in the industry. I'm a divorced and remarried mother of 4 grown children. And I am a Gigi to 5 amazing grandbabies. In the last couple of years, I have shifted my focus to me and who I get to be. I am on a mission to support women in discovering their beauty inside and outside, and the beauty that they get to create in their life. Christina?
Hi, friends. I'm Christina Cece, and I'm a holistic well-being coach who helps women discover the powerful divine being that they are so they can just create the life of their dreams. I'm also a kitty mom, a cacao ceremony facilitator, and an artist. So welcome.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Okay.
Of the Art of Being Unstoppable. Yes.
Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, The Art of Being Unstoppable. And today we are talking about spontaneity. So, Christina, you had an idea for this podcast because what has been going on in your life lately?
So, just sometimes we get into this rut. It's the routine. And I love routines. Don't get me wrong. They're not all bad, but some of them, you just kind of go on autopilot, right? So it was last Sunday. I was just sitting and I have a weekly meditation group that I meet up with. And it was after my meditation. And I was like, I just want some fun and to be spontaneous. Just thought came into my head. So what do? I get on my phone and I just started scrolling, and this thing pops up in my feed. And I was like, oh, that looks fun. It was belly dancing. So, so I was like, I can do this. It looks so fun. So I got up, I had my sweats on and everything, took my top off, and I was going along learning just beginner belly dancing in my bedroom, just no top on, just going for it. And it was so much fun. And what opened up from there was amazing. Just everywhere I looked, there were more opportunities to just go for it rather than just being in, nope, got to have lunch at 2:00. That's what I got to do. And I was just like, nope, I'm going to go out to Michael's was have this wonderful sale on canvases. So I went out, got those. It was just fun. I had fun.
As I'm listening to you, some of the things that we do in our coaching business is we train and develop people on how to recognize their personal operating system, not their personality, but how you typically operate in life. And when I'm hearing, the spontaneity, I know that people that tend to be a little more analytical, very structured, one of the things that they want more than anything is to go skinny dipping in life, but they're so constrained and they hold themselves back. So I know you analyzers that are hearing this are like, what? Belly dancing in your bedroom without your top on? I never do that. And it's like, I wonder what it would be like if nobody was watching. And this was another thing I heard last week. Somebody said, dance like nobody was watching. And I heard a reframe. No, dance like everybody's watching. Dance unconstrained. Dance to let go and just be authentically you. Dance so that you feel it in your whole body and do it so that, you see if everybody is watching me, I want them to see that I get to be this person that is so unleashed, so unconstrained. Because I hold myself back.
I love that. You know what? I love that. I have 2 little quick stories. One quick story is a picture of you at my daughter's wedding in the summertime dancing. And it's the best picture. It is the best picture because you are dancing. You were having a great time. Everyone was dancing. It was awesome. Outside, inside. But anyway.
And I went alone. The first wedding I've ever been to without like a partner, my husband, whatever. I went completely alone. And well, with myself.
With yourself. You're never alone.
You're never alone when you're with yourself.
That's right.
And it was so great because I
Yeah.
didn't feel any, like I didn't have to babysit anybody. I
Yeah.
know that's a derogatory term, but you know what I mean?
I
Like
do.
I didn't have to like make sure somebody was okay and having fun. And I just got
You
to
got to have
be.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to be. So I just got back from Mexico, went on my first all-inclusive vacation. Yes, my first at 55. I know.
Gosh, Vicki, good for you.
I know. It was
Your
awesome.
first vacation, not your first vacation,
No,
just
my
all
first
inclusive.
all-inclusive. Never
Okay.
been. So this was pretty crazy. And my husband didn't come. He's not a sun guy. He would rather go ice fishing, which is great. So I went with a couple girlfriends, and then there was actually 11 of us total. There was the 3 of us, and then the rest were couples. So we went, and honestly, we were, they were the best travels people I've ever traveled with. Everybody was, whatever you want to do, it's cool, whatever you want to do. So we bring the party wherever we go. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So, we would go to the the disco, after dinner. Everyone would be just sitting. No one was dancing. And my girlfriends and I are like, what is happening? So we did exactly what you just said, Tina, and we got up and we danced like no one was watching or everyone was watching. It didn't matter. And you know what happened? Everyone came up with us.
Yeah.
We had so many people dancing with us and dancing, like a couple would come up and they'd start dancing together, and you could just see the joy in everybody's faces. Being spontaneous, you're on vacation. It doesn't matter. You'll never see these people again. And if you do, great. They're going to say, I remember you. You were the fun girl that was dancing at the disco after 8:00 at night.
But this really is the art of being unstoppable. This is an example of it because look what happened. I am going to dance like everybody's watching. You're going to dance like everybody's watching. And then people around you feel inspired to do the same.
That's right.
Because everybody wants some part of them to break free of their constraints.
Yep.
But it always takes somebody to allow you to have the courage to be able to do that on your own. Do you remember in the summertime when we went to that festival? Same thing. We were pulling up people, 70-year-old women, 60-year-old women.
Yeah.
We're like, come on, let's dance. Some people thought I was crazy, but we
had
had
a great time.
Yeah, it was so fun.
And to be able to be that person, like be spontaneous like that and go up to see, and you see this couple sitting there and you know she wants to dance, but he's like, I'm not dancing. So you go over and you grab her and you say, come dance with us, girl.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we include everyone?
Yeah.
Why can't we just be spontaneous and invite the crowd in with us? It gives everybody power.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember that same night, I took my shoes off. I had these
Yes.
Michael Kors wedge sandals that I got at a consignment store. They're a little bit too small. I'm not going to lie, but I loved them. They were gold and they were beautiful. I thought they would be the comfiest things in the world. No, not at all. So I was like, you know what? My feet are burning. I'm taking my shoes off. And I remember people thinking, like looking at me. And then one woman said, I would love to be able to just take my shoes off and not worry about it. And I said, well, do it. She's like, but what if I get glass in my foot? And what if I said, but what if you don't? And she said, yeah, I guess I never thought about that. And I said, girl, you only live once, YOLO,
Yeah, that's right.
So here we are, we're dancing, getting people up dancing. Women are taking their heels off, kicking their shoes off. And, it's just, where in our life did we decide that we had to look good? Don't you think sometimes we go through life wanting to look good, avoiding looking bad, not rocking the boat? It's like,
what will people think? Oh my God, I thought this shirt would look better and I'm not comfortable. Who cares?
Yeah.
How often do you sit in front of the mirror at home? Now, I used to. I'm going to be honest, I don't do this as much anymore because I do have a different outlook. And that was my mindset changing. But when you're at home, you're like, I don't know, what do you think? Does this look okay? Oh my goodness. And then you think you feel really good. And then you go out and then you see someone that you feel looks better than you. And then you're kind of like in the corner. I'm really not comfortable. And then you see a picture and you go, damn, I look good. So what are you worried about? Or you go out and you are the best looking one in the place, because that happens too. No, right? Because people don't care and I always used to say to my husband, I don't get dressed pretty for you. I do this it used to be because you wanted to impress other people, but now it's for me. solely for me. When I put on a pair of whatever dress, skirt, pants, whatever it is, bathing suit, I want to feel good in my skin. And I am going to compliment everybody. We saw these, oh my goodness, a woman would walk by on vacation. I'd think, girl, that is the most beautiful cover up. Oh my God, really? Thank you so much. Did I not just make her day?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Empower each other.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to be like that girl. Did you see how much fun she was having over there? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's, you bring up a good point, because we as women, a lot of the time will look at other women as competition, right? Or we're comparing. We look at somebody else and think that we're not as good as they are, or it's not as pretty as they are. We won't look as good in that as they do.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we get to shift ourselves once you open that up. And that's all heart, that's all love for yourself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how many women have we worked with that said one of the biggest challenges that they had before working with us is they would walk into a room and everybody would think that they were so confident, but they were feeling like they would say, you have no idea that I put on 10 outfits before I walked out the door. And all I could think about was, I hope people don't talk to me because what would I say? Or, all of these fears and considerations that were playing in the background. And then all of a sudden, and women minimizing their successes. How many powerful business women have we worked with where they're like, yeah, I own a gym, I own a company, I own this. I don't even tell people I do that. I don't even, share my wins because they're so afraid of what people might think. Or
that just brought something up for me. So my daughter, she's been on a health journey and she's been doing amazing. And she has a friend and she said, look, how'd you do this week? And she says, well, I lost like 9 pounds. And that's huge, right? And her friend was like, oh, well, yeah, that's great. And then she said, Mom, I almost feel like I don't want to say anything anymore. I said, no, friend, babe, you say something.
mm-hmm.
Always. You don't minimize your wins because of someone else's insecurities for their own self. That can inspire them. Don't look at it like it's going to make them feel bad. If it makes them feel bad, that's their choice. You're doing it to inspire them, right? That's why you do what you do. That's why I do what I do. Christina, that's why you do what you do. You inspire people. Your art inspires people. It makes people feel good. You can have someone have a breakthrough in 2.2 minutes sometimes. It's unbelievable just because you have that power of making them see what they can't see.
Mm-hmm.
I inspire people by making them feel good about themselves when I do their hair or when I help them find the perfect outfit or whatever it is. But why should we diminish what we're feeling or because someone else's success isn't the same?
Well, this is the truth. People secretly, and for all of you that are listening right now, when you're going on a personal development journey, a weight loss journey, you're taking on your relationship, sometimes people around you secretly want you to fail because it shines a light on their perceived inadequacies. So if you're releasing weight and they want to release weight, then it shines a light on, I haven't been able to do that. And so I know with your daughter, sometimes people will get stopped when people make a comment like that. Oh, it must be nice. Oh, and then and I know that happened to me because back in 2016, I went on an incredible personal development journey. Like our Breakthrough to Unstoppable program is based on my personal journey, right? And so I had released a bunch of weight. I quit drinking. I was 15% body fat. I worked out. I ate healthy. And for the most part, I would hear things like, what are you doing? You're too skinny. Are you starving yourself? You're too extreme. Aren't you going to live life? Like, why don't you just drink a little? And then I realized because I now did not belong with the herd and I didn't have the personal development or awareness, it was too uncomfortable. And so instead of just separating from the herd and finding a new herd, I just went back to my old patterns and behaviors and I gained 30 pounds. I stopped doing everything that was making me feel good because it was more uncomfortable for me to be different than others than
Yes.
to be true to me, because I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the confidence. And I didn't have the awareness to be like, listen, I'm sorry that this is what you think and these are your beliefs. I didn't realize those are just their beliefs. For me, their beliefs were the truth, not their truth, the truth. And
Yeah.
so I couldn't be with that, and so now things are different, obviously, where I can see, oh, thank you for your opinion. It's like one person says, you're an ass, thank them. Two people say you're an ass, thank them. 10 people say you're an ass. Saddle up, giddy up, you're likely an ass. But,
Yeah.
we don't have to take what people say as truth. It's feedback from their eyes, but not the truth.
No.
Yeah. And Tina, I just want to kind of go back to spontaneity a little bit. You said you were dating. So in the last couple of weeks, what have you done that is spontaneous and fun?
Oh my God. Okay. So my friend actually took a picture of him and his friend together. And he's like, do you recognize this guy? And I said, no, I don't. And he said, well, this is the guy who bought your old house. I'm like, what? I said, that is crazy. And he's like, yeah, he's just recently separated. And we were joking around saying the house was cursed. But I just, it had been like 6 or 7 months since they were separated. And so I just like spontaneously reached out and said, hey, I know you don't really know me that well. I said, I know what you're going through. I've been there a couple years ago and stuff. And if you ever want somebody to talk to, I'm just here for you, just as like a friend. And then,
But it didn't hurt that he was really cute.
it did not hurt. And then I remember Vicky's like, well, do you think he needs a coach? I'm like, he's too cute. I did not coach him. No. But then we just started, like talking and stuff like that. And then Christmas Day, I just said, hey, what are you doing? Do you want to come over and hang out? And he's like, I actually don't have any plans. I had just gotten back from Vicky's house. And literally, we stayed up till 1:30, like 8:30 till 1:30 talking. We didn't even get off the couch. And I remember looking at the clock and saying, you're never going to believe what time it is. He said, well, 10:30, like it's 1:30 in the morning. It was like time just like flew by, so I thought that was pretty spontaneous because normally I would never reach out to somebody or do anything like that. So for me, that was pretty spontaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then staying up until 1:30 with a stranger.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Right.
In your house.
Even just staying up to 1:30. Come on.
Yes.
But I'm like 10 o'clock. I'm in bed.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it sounds like it was so fun.
Remember the feeling though? I remember you saying to me, I feel guilty. I like the other day because you were up late because you were talking and you guys had spent time together and you guys were talking and you felt bad because you were up late. You didn't get up.
I slept until 7.
Oh my God.
And I was like, guilty. I slept.
Brett, how dare you? You're not in the 5 a.m. time? What's wrong with you?
I know. Usually I am, but I was like.
But you know what I'm saying? So that to me is huge for you because you are very structured.
Yeah.
You live by your day timer. And I'm the same. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm very structured too. I have a little bit more play than you do. But yeah, you're pretty structured. So when you actually said I slept until 7, I was like, pardon? I couldn't believe it.
Vicki messaged me. She's like, are you okay? And plus, like, I'm up and at it. I'm messaging.
Yeah, right.
I've already had messages, right? And I'm like, hey, what's happening? Where are you? Are you
No,
fine?
I actually slept in.
That's fun in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to share like what this does for you, your brain and your body. So when you actually do something spontaneous, you are creating new neural pathways in your brain. These neural pathways create a new way of being so that you start to see things differently. When you're in a routine, those are those pathways that are already, they're created. So your body and your mind, you always want to go back to those routines because it's safe. It feels good. I'm not just talking about like going a different way to work, taking a different path. that is a way to bring spontaneity into, your life. And it does change the neural pathways.
Oh, because
How
how
it
often
changes.
have you driven to the grocery store or to work or wherever, and you don't remember
Yeah.
the drive?
That's
Like,
the
let's say,
mindlessness.
yeah,
That's the mindlessness. You're on autopilot.
yeah, and that's scary.
Well, I've done that.
I have done that, but you know what? You gotta think if that's one thing, if that happens in your car on your way to or from work, what about your life that you've done for 10 years the exact same? What is that doing for you mentally, physically? And I don't care if there's healthy eating and exercise and all of those things in there, but without the spontaneity, what is that really doing?
Here's the other thing. When you actually bring fun into it, then you're igniting the happy chemicals, the serotonin, the endorphins, the dopamine. So you're bringing in all of that, changing your physiology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, like, what's the impact on relationships when we're not doing this? And I know my daughter, she plays travel volleyball, and one of the parents on the team, they're high school sweethearts. And it was funny because I could hear the girls talking in the back seat, and she's like, "Oh my God, we have these cameras in the garage." And I was watching the video one day, and my dad was laying on the couch watching the football game, and my mom jumped on him and started kissing him. And it's like, after how many years, 30 some odd years, still having that spontaneity, like you need that. But I think sometimes we get stuck in this routine, even in our relationships, where it's like autopilot. We don't do anything spontaneous. And, I said, when I grow up, I want to be like you, because I want to be like that 30, 40 years later. And I see videos of them doing cold plunges together, going on vacation together and spending time. And I thought that's really, but they're always doing things spontaneously.
I love that.
Yeah.
Chuck and I went out last weekend for his birthday, and we spent a night in another city, and we decided to walk to a restaurant and then walk back. So, it's a little, we were not sure, right? We walked back and we saw that, or on our way back, we saw this pub. So we walked in and spontaneous. We walked in, and I'm telling you, there were some people there. It was a different sort of crowd. I'm just going to say that. But you know what? We ended up staying for a few hours, and there was karaoke. We listened to people sing. It was out of our comfort zone. We don't do that. We don't go to bars usually. Like, we'll go out for dinner and have a drink, but we don't do that. So we actually stayed there till like midnight. And we laughed. We walked back to the hotel. It was amazing. It was so out of our, routine of, he's a homebody. He likes to be at home. I love to have fun and go out and do stuff, but he's not that guy. So to do it with him, oh my God, it was so much fun.
I
So
love
much fun.
that.
And stay in a hotel in like just about 45 minutes from your house. It's like you're in a whole different place.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
The staycation. Yeah.
Right. But it's worth it.
Staycation.
Because a lot of people say they don't have the time or the resources, but you can.
I did a
people
free
know.
belly dancing lesson online in my bedroom, and it changed
Right.
my whole week.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I get to do something a little spontaneous like that for me too, because I can't even imagine doing a belly dance class online. Like it would be, I can't even spit it out. I can't even think about it, you
My
guys.
girlfriends, they were doing it in Windsor. They did it. Yeah, they used to go. They loved it.
I'm not a belly dancer person. I'm a dancer. I was a modern dancer. I performed classical. I've done salsa. I love to dance. Never thought of belly dancing. I always thought it was kind of,
Pretty amazing though.
You gotta let loose with belly dancing.
For sure.
No. Everything's like loose, and we're so trained to like suck it in, hold it in.
How do I love
But you do. That's the thing.
You have to be
all
like
your control.
Yeah.
And it is moving differently. It's moving completely differently. It has a lot of the basic principles of dance in it as well. And I just loved it. I think I have a new passion.
Right on. I love that.
Yeah. And I think it's easy to get caught up in the rat race of like, go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. And, like we were saying earlier, people will use time as an excuse. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to go to this
It
dance.
was 30 minutes too. You
Yeah.
could do one for 15 minutes if you wanted. There were some for 15 minutes.
Really?
And not only that, it's like we think that our routine is the right thing to do. We think it's the way everything works. Or this is how our day is going to work. But that's not the way it is. You're just kind of putting tunnel vision on.
I think some of our listeners too, whether you're at the beginning of your personal development journey, maybe you've never even thought about it. Maybe you're a seasoned, maybe you listen to all kinds of podcasts. Maybe you have a coach, who knows? But, when I first started a couple of years ago on this journey, one of the things that I found was the most difficult was I tried to fit everything in.
Yeah.
I tried to fit in the meditation, the yoga, the this, the that, right? I tried to fit it all in because I wanted, and now I meditate. Like someone said to me the other, I don't even know how to meditate. I said, you can be meditating when you're driving. You don't have to literally sit. It's about something that brings you peace and that you can bring into your awareness. But if you don't allow yourself to have that, right? You just keep go, 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 go all the time and you don't take that time back. Really and truly, when do you get to look within? If you don't even know how to look within, right? Like the mirror work, all of those little things were huge things at the time, but I thought I needed to make sure that this practice had to be at 6 a.m. I have to do this. At 7 a.m. I write in my journal. At 8 a.m., because that's what people say. Right?
Well, and as humans, we want to have a structure like we were talking about before. We want to have a structure. We want a step-by-step process from A to Z, and I'm going to get to Z by going through all of the steps.
Check off.
Checking the boxes. But it's really about exploration. We're here on an adventure. We're here for, to grow and to be just love. And I'm going to throw it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I read this sign, Christina, that said the best days of your life are still ahead of you. And it was like, wow. Hey, like, really? Because we all think like, oh my God, how many people do you know that their best times were high school? Or, right?
Right. Live it, and you want to relive your history rather than creating something so magnificent.
Amazing.
I saw this thing actually this morning, and it was like the average age for a woman to live is 82. So I'm 47. That means I have 35 years left, basically, times 365 days. So that's like 775 days. Now, if we look at a third of that is sleeping. So if we times that by 0.67, means 8,005. We have 8,559, like me, 8,559 hours possibly left. But when you think about that, that is not a lot of time. And how much time do we waste on worrying about things, not having fun, being stringent or not being able to have coffee on our porch, because we're too busy, like maybe climbing a mountain. It's insurmountable, and when we look back at our life at that 8,559 hour mark, is it then that we're going to slow down to enjoy life? And it's like, when you really think about it, put it in, I mean, you're a little bit older than me. Christina, you're older than me. It's like those numbers are even less for you. Yeah. And you think about how quickly time flies.
Whole nother subject we could get into.
Right. Absolutely.
But it's like when we see that,
literally time is speeding up.
But when we look at like, how are we spending our time? Because time is ours. And people always say, I don't have enough time. Yeah. But time is yours to create. We all have the same amount of time. Christina and I had the same amount of time. We do the same amount of things in a day. But she takes time to, have her coffee outside regardless of the weather and to belly dance. And I
Yeah.
don't. I spend my time working, hustling, grinding, thinking about the next innovation and the next marketing strategy. And now I'm just starting to open up to, okay, but I really want to like take on, you know, a relationship, and I want like really great health, and I want to live longer than 82 years. You know, I want to live to be super like 110,
Yeah.
120.
There was a girl.
Centurion Club.
Yeah.
There was a woman on a news program just the other day. She was 104, and she was having a conversation. The guy was like, what's your secret? She goes, I drink Dr. Pepper every day.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, but I saw last night a trainer. She's Japanese trainer who is 94 years old. She is a personal trainer.
And she's still doing it.
She's still doing it. This woman is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. You know, and it's like,
We don't know. That's the thing,
don't
right?
know.
We don't know. So why not make each and every day the best day it can be? Like, be present in that.
and how many people are still living in the past time,
Oh,
Absolutely.
back,
Mm.
past experiences? That is a tragedy too. You know, when things happen, of so many times I've talked to people, met people that had a bad divorce, and they're like, I'm never getting married again. I'm never being in a relationship. And they spend their time alone because they're too afraid to find love again. Or, you know, I went on a weight loss journey and I lost all this weight and then I gained it back. So I'm not going to do that again because I'm just going to fail again and never get back on the horse. Or, you know, people that invest in business solutions and the investments don't go anywhere. And then they're like, I'm never going to invest again. And then they stay stuck and then quit their business because they're, you know, afraid of failing again. And it's just, you know, when we see that this is just part of our journey, the past gets to be, the past gets to stay in the past and you get to recreate what your future is. But we don't think like that. And then I feel that time living in the past is time wasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't change the past.
Yeah.
And you don't even know what the future looks like. All we have is right now and right now and right now. Not tonight, not tomorrow, like only right now.
it's a gift. And that's why it's all present, right?
And that's the thing, right? It's like, but you can change you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change the past. The only thing you really can do is change you and how you remember the past.
Yes. And you can remember it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And
It's how you remember it.
Yeah.
Because you can be emotional about it and it can bring you right back there.
Yeah.
And you can relive it over and over and over again. Or you can change you, how you perceive it, and take it as wisdom and move forward.
Yeah. And I mean, that takes, you know, doing the personal work is hard, but not having personal awareness is hard too. And I say, choose your hard, because I know after having invested probably over 5,000 hours of personal development and training over the last 8 years, when I look back, there were some things that I did that were challenging. I was driving an hour across the American border 3 days a week. So 6 hours plus assisting, doing training. I was probably doing 30 hours, and I was a single mom, and I was running a business. People are like, how is that physically even possible? Well, because I realize that time is mine and I make things in my life a priority and I figure out how to make it happen because I don't want time to be a construct. You know, and some people will spend 5 hours watching Netflix at the end of the night and say, I don't have time to go grocery shopping. Or I didn't have time to do this. And then there are some people that are carting their kids around like me to volleyball 4 nights a week,
Yeah.
you know, and on the weekends. And it's like, how do you have time? Well, I know that that's part of what I get to do. And then I just look at how do I make everything else work? How do I make my health work? And some days I feel like, man, I just need a day for myself. Okay, then I create it. I do nothing, not all the time, but every once in a while. And I don't
And
feel
that's okay
about
too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all about you choosing, not the brain being on autopilot and your mind running the show, running everything, telling you have to do this, telling you have to do that.
You get to.
You should be doing this. You should be doing that. No, I'm here. I'm now. It's right now. I'm doing this because I choose.
You know, one of the things that I have is a day planner that's broken up into 1 hour time slots with 15-minute increments. And it goes from 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. And when I started using that calendar and literally putting my life in there, I realized I actually had more time than I knew how to fill, And so having time for meditation or for a workout, I saw, okay, this is actually an excuse. I have time to do this. If I start my day at 5 a.m. and I go to bed at 9 p.m., I have a lot of time. And so, giving up Candy Crush. Like, those stupid, like, I like that. Not Candy Crush, but I don't know. What's that game called?
King's Royal something.
Royal King something. I'm like, I could just spend 2 hours playing that game. And, sometimes I will, but it's like, oh, I got everything completed that I wanted to do today.
Yeah.
I exercised. I nourished my body. I had time for my kids. I did time for my work. I did everything that I wanted to do. And now I'm just going to mindlessly play this game without feeling bad or wrong or guilty. It's like, no, I'm not doing that to myself. And I hear, especially people in business, like very masculine energy, like if you're not staying up till midnight, working all hours of the night, you're not committed to
up at 4
and you got to get up at 4 a.m. and run 10 miles every day. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like that is not enjoyable. And we only
listening to them gives me anxiety. Just
like we only we only follow through with things that give us pleasure. For me, that does not give me pleasure. That is too much masculine energy. I need a balance of, yes, hustle, grind, but also being in my feminine. And I'm not always in that, receiving energy, but I'm doing it more now that you're in my life, Christina. Christina's like, we're like the yin and the yang, feminine to my masculine.
I've had some projects working where I'm just like hustling and hustling and hustling. And I'll tell you, it's been like, I've had to really focus on making time to surrender.
Mm.
Because I do easily get caught up in that. And I think that's why I make it a point to be in my feminine, because I do have those tendencies to be a workaholic. I really do. I have been workaholic.
Yeah.
And at the detriment of my health and my body.
Right.
And so I make the choices now. And I recognize when I'm doing that. Because it's easy when you are listening to the videos, make them $400,000 a month, doing these things. It's like, oh, okay. And it's the hustle, but it doesn't have to be that way.
I mean, I think that's a lot of when we get into the push strategies and the hustle and grind, the energy around that is very like high tense, high strung. So for me, I got to check myself before I wreck myself.
Yeah.
I notice when it's time to slow down. Like my body is like the authority of me. My body will tell me before my brain, slow down. And you don't want to get to that point of pure exhaustion and burnout, which a lot of women do because we have no duty. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Women are the primary caregivers in the majority of households, and they're working full-time jobs, and they're taking care of everything else, And if you are drinking from an empty cup, you can only drink from an empty cup for so long.
That's right.
And, what's it going to take for us as women to just honor ourselves, honor our bodies, honor our time, live life, with spontaneity, go skinny dipping in life, despite all of the obligations we have, and really just start enjoying and getting pleasure from life. Like simple pleasures,
Yeah.
So what can you do? I'm talking to the listeners out there today. What can you do in your life today to just be spontaneous and have a little fun. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Be unstoppable.
Be
Be
unstoppable.
unstoppable.
Go dance in the rain. I did want to, that's what I was just going to have. I would like Tina to share one little story about being spontaneous about one of our clients dancing in the rain.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
This is the best story. And I just want you to just picture this in your mind if you can when she's telling the story, and really put yourself there. Really put yourself there.
Yeah. So we worked with a woman who would identify as an analytical personality type, very straight-laced, very by the book, very regimented and routine. And one day I just asked her the question, like, what would it be like for you to just go skinny dipping in life? And she said, I have no idea. And I said, what is something that you could do to just, what Christina just said, just open yourself up and have a little fun. And she said, well, my husband and I are celebrating our wedding anniversary and we're going out for dinner. So maybe I'll dress up, I'll put on something nice and, we'll see what happens. And I said, okay, I can't wait to see what happens. And so they went to this dinner. When they got outside, it was raining. And they both just started dancing in the rain. And then they have pictures of them dancing in the rain. And, they're soaking wet. And that spontaneity really opened the door to her day silent retreat where she got to just be fully present. It shifted her business, how she started doing her business, even like the point of not wanting to hustle and grind to do her business and creating it on her terms. And she ended up creating these, like, I don't know what kind of cards they are, but they're on Amazon now. And she completely shifted her business model, just being spontaneous in life and just living life on her terms. And she realized, like, I don't need to make the money. I don't need to create a 6 or 7 figure business. I want to create an impact and I want to do it in a way that feels great for me, and it was just one question. What would it be like to go skinny dipping in life? And what can you commit to doing to just break out of your pattern and routine? And so, yeah, it is a powerful exercise if you're willing to take it on. And if you do take it on, you better leave us a comment, come back, share what you did, share this video with people that you think would be inspired, that might want a little extra, a boost of spontaneity in their life. And yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and let us know what you're doing to be spontaneous.
I can't wait to hear from you all. And until next week.
Okay, we'll see you guys back next time.
Bye.